Welcome back. Police investigating a shooting that happened last night near Kennedy Subdivision. The male victim is in hospital. Police say shortly after 10 p.m. the victim was outside a residence on Malcolm Road East when the occupants of a black Japanese model vehicle opened fire on the victim, shooting him multiple times. The victim was taken to hospital via emergency medical services personnel, where he remains in stable condition. Police are aggressively searching for the culprits who fled the area south on Revival Faith Way. We call it the Big Yard, and tourists are now flocking to Andros to see all the big, magnificent things that the largest island in the country has to offer. Minister of State in the office of the Prime Minister, Leon Lundy, says that the island welcomed over 17,000 tourists in 2023, a 10% increase from 2022. He says in comparison to pre-pandemic levels, the island is seeing an 8% increase.
From just over 9,000 visitors in 2019 to over 17,000 in 2023. This influx, predominantly from the USA, underscores the importance of strategic branding efforts in showcasing Andros's natural beauty and cultural richness to the global travel market. Such efforts not only boost tourism numbers, but also contribute significantly to the local economy, supporting jobs and fostering sustainable development initiatives.
The Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation reported that 25% of U.S.-based tourists visit Andros from New York, Florida, Texas, and Ohio. The top Canadian tourists were from Ontario and Quebec. As he shared the reasons for tourists' stays, the minister further explains what it means for the country's revenue.
Hosting weddings and honeymoons brings in revenue from accommodations, dining, transportation, and local attractions. This boosts business for hotels, resorts, restaurants, and tour operators on Andros, supporting jobs and stimulating economic growth. But do we have sufficient wedding planners on the island? Do we have ample musicians, disc jockeys, caterers, florists, transportation providers, hairstylists, and makeup artists? Do we? And as a country, is an overwhelmingly tourist-based economy. Understanding tourist statistics and staying updated with tourism trends is crucial for fostering economic growth.
Mr. Lundy was speaking at the 2024 Andros Business Outlook. The Bahamas Reef Environmental Educational Foundation, or BREEF, wrapped up its celebration of World's Oceans Month in June with a snorkel adventure for the media at Clifton Underwater Sculpture Garden this past Saturday. Jcn's news team was there. We took part. However, during the snorkeling exercise, the BREEF team encountered an oil slick that clung to the skin and clothes even long after exiting the water. Executive Director of BREEF, Kasarina McKinney-Lambert, says oil pollution is a major factor and it is a negative impact on our oceans right here in the Bahamas.
Obviously, oil causes major problems at so many different levels, from the use of oil to oil transport to spills to the threat of oil drilling in the Bahamas. Today we started off talking about the impacts of climate change and the fact that burning fossil fuels, especially oil, is what's driving climate change and it's what's killing our coral reefs. This we've been seeing in the Bahamas and around the world, where corals are suffering from the elevated water temperatures caused by our changing climate, human-driven climate change. So we've been talking a lot about the impacts of climate change on our oceans, and this is the other side of oil pollution, where it's ending up in our marine environment and really causing problems all around. This is not okay.
As global citizens, we need to clean up our act and address numerous threats to our oceans, be they oil slicks, oil spills, plastic, or other forms of pollution, according to Ms. Lambert.
There are so many people who care about our oceans on so many different levels, from the little kids that BREEF deals with in schools every day, all the way up to the highest office in government. But the time really is for action, and we need to clean up our act. We need to address the numerous threats of fossil fuels, and it's time for all of us to speed up this transition away from fossil fuels and to sustainable energy and a sustainable way of living.
Currently, there has been no update on the oil slick at Clifton and no comments from the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources on the matter, which appears to be a common occurrence at Clifton Pier, which is cause for further concern. And finally, today was celebrated as National Wellness Day in the Bahamas, spearheaded by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. today, there was a health fair at the ministry's courtyard on Meeting Street. There was free health screenings, eye exams, foot assessments, HIV testing, immunizations, fitness, and life coaches were on hand, and you could have registered for the National Insurance Health or the National Health Insurance Program as well. Healthy food and drinks were also out there for you to have, and there were also lots of giveaways. Bahamians, you are being encouraged to take control and live a healthy life. That'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.